Hello RoKStars, how's everyone going? Welcome to our stream. It's an exciting day. We got Osiris League finals and then we are going to try to watch both the matches. So we got 88 VH Valhalla and then 89 CG Chaotic Guardians. That's going to be our main match on screen 1 and on screen 2. If we are lucky, if we can get in, then we are going to keep an eye out on the 10-21 Black Jack versus OneV match as well. Hence this dual screen setup for the day. Now we don't know whether we can get into either matches, but then so far we have been somewhat lucky and we did manage to get into both matches. So we are kind of hoping that we will. We are trying to make sure that we get whitelisted by Lilith so that in future this is not like a question mark in terms of whether we can get in. We can just get in. But then with your support, I'm pretty sure we can, because the more subscribers and viewers we are getting for these streams, the stronger of a case that we make for getting whitelisted at least. Yes, and Lambeo, hey man. MIB, one of my kings. Good to have you here, man. First, go 89 CG. Yes, 89 CG from Kingdom 2489. That's our destination kingdom. We are going to be there in like a month or so. So definitely that's a KD we're excited about, and that's why we're going to watch their match as on the main screen, if you like, out of the two screens. Just insane hype. Yes, we are hyped, man. Wow, fire. Yes, this match, I hope 89 CG sets alight the stage on fire. Amen. So what do we expect? Now let's go into the schedule. So we got about 10 minutes before the actual match starts. So let's start having a look at our first match, or our main match that we're gonna look at. So what have we got here? Tech guy, Ladus, man, good to have you here. So in terms of the first match, we're looking at 88 VH versus 89 CG. Now 88 VH comes from Kingdom 2488, and then 89 CG comes from Kingdom 2489. So they must have been playing KVKs together, at least the first KVK, potentially the two as well. So that's going to be quite exciting. I'm sure they have some sort of a history. When we are talking to Arvix about it, he did mention that these kingdoms, from the start of the tournament, from the start of Osiris League, they were talking about how there's a good chance that, you know, they're going to meet in the final. So there's probably a friendly rivalry going on. So in terms of 88 VH, we know that they're primarily Korean. So that, you know what, that kind of says that they take their gaming very seriously. So we are probably going to see a very good show from them. Now, if you look at their history, they obviously have won every single match so far. They're sitting at 4 billion power, and that's unnaturally high for Sobek. Saying that, their recent matches, the last match they had came very close with QQ20. It was 37,600 versus 35,900. So we're looking at a very close match. So they barely got into the final. They probably got a little lucky as well, but we can't comment on it because we didn't really watch that match. Moonlights 1v versus 10-21. Koreans are lead. Hey man, we're watching Koreans over here as well. 88 Valhalla. And then but saying that, we will keep an eye out on that other match as well as long as we can get in. Now, in terms of the rest of the matches, the rest of the journey for 88 VH hasn't been that challenging. I mean, the one before that, before the quarterfinals, they played 73 CG. That was 26,000 versus 44,000. So not necessarily very close. Now, the story is very similar for 2489 as well. So 2489, led by Arvix, is sitting comfortably at 4 billion power. That's a massive power again for Sobek. So slightly higher than VH, but I don't think that power is going to make any difference. But then when it comes to their previous matches, even the last couple of matches, the opponents didn't even come close. So even the quarterfinals, it was almost like a walkover with 63,400 versus 16,300. So this is not necessarily, I mean, in a way, if you look at it, you could say that it's good for 89 CG because, you know, they're dominating, obviously. But then in terms of having a tough fight, I don't know how much 2489 has been tested. Well, maybe not, but then I'm sure they're gonna, perform well. So that match, I mean, there's nothing else to say about that match. It's very evenly matched, two kingdoms with a bit of a history, and they are very close in terms of, their performance. But Koreans taking over RoK, Koreans taking over gaming, man. Ruling this game, every game, 89 better win. I went all in on them. Yep. So speaking of your coins and stuff, so a lot of people may have gone heavy on 89 CG in terms of the coins because of, their high powers, their stars, and, Arvix himself. And somewhat a similar story if you look at the other match. So a lot of people took them as a favorite 1v, obviously, including myself. So everyone probably put like a lot of coins in that match. I mean, I'm not saying the betting coins. What I mean by that is the coins that comes with the mark of something, like I forgot. The mark coins, the ones where you choose the winner. So if you look at that match, let's look at the schedule. So let's talk about that a little bit as well, since we got the time. So 5 minutes later, we'll probably start clicking and trying to get in. Actually 7 minutes, so we got time to talk. So if you look at that match, 1021 is not, I guess, out of place in the final. So if you look at that with TR, a very strong team. The representatives of 1254, probably the strongest KD or one of the strongest KDs in the game. And you got very famous players with a lot of spenders, top equipment, best commanders, and everything that comes in the game. So even against them, 1021, just from memory, probably had all the arcs. So TR didn't get a single arc. And that says a lot about 1021. And 1021 not only defeated TR, their journey up here hasn't been the easiest. So they played against Song. Song is one of the better teams in Ark of Osiris, and they dominated against Song. They played against one of our alliances in 1556 as well, DN56, and that was a walkover style match. So DN56 scored 16,000 points and 1021 had 63. So if you kind of look at 1021's journey so far, it's pretty solid. They played against LV as well. That match was a little bit closer. They came on top. So they defeated some big names, or at least some well-known names, on the way up to the final. So 1021 definitely going to put up a good show. Now 1v, I mean, 1v doesn't really need an introduction. The best Ark of Osiris team at the moment. And then 1v, I mean, with JST, they had a very tough match, and JST, I would probably say, the second best team. That's a little questionable though, because there's 60 GT, but then obviously I'm biased. But then either way, against 1v, they came very, very close in that match. Only by, how much do you want to say? Only by 1,000 points, 1v came on top. And then other than that, 1v actually lost to New V as well, but that was a group stage match, and I kind of don't want to talk about what happened there. But either way, that match over there, 1v scored 34,500 and New V scored 35,800. So there could be some, internal adjustments in that match. But other than that, obviously 1v is in top form, and they're surely going to do very good. Now, yesterday we had a podcast where we had invited over some other streamers, YouTubers, content creators for Rise of Kingdoms, and when we were talking to them, most of them, and that includes some of the names that you may know. So we had TSN Lambu, we had Ploto, and we have Beast Slef, and in most cases they were saying that there's a good chance 1021 can pull a match out of the three. So rather than being a 3-0 whitewash, it could actually be a 2-1 in favor of 1v. So 1021 Black Jack can probably take a point out of 1v, take one match out of those. Now, is that match going to be today's match? I mean, I kind of hope not, because today we are focusing on the 89 CG match. I mean, the next week we may be focusing on the 1v match, so maybe 1021 picks that match to go all out, but either way we will see. So the plan for today is, as you can see, we kind of have two screens up. The plan for the day is kind of to maintain that. So I'm going to switch over to the other setting that we had. So the plan for the day is to have the 10-21 match in the little minimap on the left right hand side. So not necessarily a minimap, but in a smaller screen. That's the 10-21 1v match if we can get in, and then the 88 VH and 89 CG match as the main focus, because that's the KD we are going to, and that's more of evenly, you know, evenly matched match. Evenly powered, even chances. So 89 CG by no means has that match in the bag. So we want to see how they perform, and we haven't really seen any 89 CG matches so far, to be honest. So that's why we thought we check out our new KD and keep that match in the focus. Now in terms of watching, now with 2 minutes left, I think it's best if we stay on the screens where we are meant to be so that we can click on watch on time and then kind of try to get in. So we're gonna try to get into the Sobek match first on that, and on this device, on the second, through my second account, we're gonna try to see if we can get into the 10-21 match. Now 10-21 match, there's a good chance we can't even get in, but then if we can't, we can't. Loki, which country are you from? Hey man, I am from Bangladesh originally, and I'm streaming from Sydney. 89 better winner. Yeah, no, I read that. So guys, how many minutes have we got left? So it still says 2 minutes. So in the 2 minutes time, just a reminder to everyone that if you're, whilst you're watching this stream, if you're enjoying the stream, then definitely subscribe and drop a like. That's something I may not be able to remind throughout, but then it's probably good to do that reminder now. Now the match hasn't started yet, but just 1 minute left. So this is where I'm going to start becoming a little crazy to make sure I can get in, because if I'm late in clicking, then I don't get in. But at the same time, I wanted to do that poll thing so that you guys can say which team do you think which team is gonna win. But then if I try to do that now, then it's gonna be too late, so I might as well get into the match and then do the poll for you guys. MIB 88 VH will give a good fight, will be interesting to watch. Hey man, we are hoping for an interesting match. I mean, I want 89 CG to win, but then if they have like a walkover, then it's not definitely fun, right? Now this is gonna be tough to get in. Actually, 89 CG hopefully is not going to be as tough to get in. So that's our primary target, obviously. And then we will worry about the 1v match. Seriously, I wish somehow I could be whitelisted, because this is like a nightmare. Like having to click. I mean, I know there's a lot of content creators out there who wants to stream this match, but then, you know, what does Lilith have to lose, right? Even if they... Ooh, it's on. Get in. Enter. No, we're too late. We are too late, but then we just have to keep clicking, and then I'm sure we can get in. All right. So the challenge begins. How did it start with 200? What is Lilith doing to us? Lilith just wants the whitelisted streamers to be able to stream. Is that what it is? No, Lilith does let us get in. All right, we are in our main match. So you got 88 VH versus 89 CG. This is the Osiris League finals, guys. This is the event that we have been waiting for. So from Kingdom 2488, ladies and gentlemen, you got with 3.9 billion power, 88 VH in blue, and on the right hand side we got our favorite team from 2489, and then that's 89 CG with 4 billion power in red, and there on the right hand side. Now I am crazily clicking on the other screen, as you can see. Now the 1v match is gonna be very popular, so I don't know whether I can, you know, kind of get in. But then yeah, we'll keep clicking as long as you know, my fingers doesn't die from all that clicking that I'm doing. I'm gonna be keep clicking. And then you see Arvix. Now there's two Arvixes there. What is happening is Arvix gonna play 2 matches at the same same time. I mean, with 2 accounts at the same time, probably. Now, looking at the history, we did talk about these matches previously, just before on the screen, but then 88 Valhalla did get a close call in their last match in semi-finals. On the other hand, 89 CG were not under pressure at all, to be honest, so they did have a pretty easy run to the finals. Now, when it comes to Sobek, I haven't streamed or watched or casted any Sobek matches in like a very long time, so I don't know how these matches go in terms of their strategies. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same sort of arc strategies, but then you may see a variety in terms of commanders. And there you go, we got Arvix. Now, if you want to know what Arvix is using in this in this match, I wish I could tell you, I don't know, but then if you want to know what Arvix uses in his KVK through his 9 accounts, we do have a video for that you can watch. Now, by the way, guys, I'm still clicking non-stop on the other device, as you can see, but then let's not focus on the other device, let's focus on this screen that we have. We have the match starting and the gates are opening. So what do we see? We see matches coming out, we see Cow coming out, we see all sorts of Arvix account coming out, and you got a Belisarius, you got a Saladin. This is normal, I guess. You got Alex, this is probably normal for this realm. Oh my god, we got big Arvix coming with, what's his name, I forgot, the new gold key commander, the Egyptian guy that we don't use, but in this early realm, he's a good commander. Tutmosis. All right, so we got hard push from 89 CG, so there's some farming matches coming out as well. So farming is a strategy within the 89 CG. We see a Khan, we see a lot of cavalry commanders coming out. We got Edward's going to be a good rally leader here, lots of Alexes. We actually see a Sansu as well. Now we see an Elcid as well. Now Elcid again is not a bad choice here because of the march speed bonus that you have, but Belisarius make Belisarius great again. Well, Belisarius is already great, and you do have the best early game commander here in YSG. Hard push coming in from 88 VH as well. Now let's see if we can check out what are the rallies that are going on. So how many rallies that we have? So all 4 obelisks being rallied by 88 VH, and then on top of all the obelisks, we got 2 outposts being rallied by 89 CG as well. Now in terms of the buildings, as you can see, 88 VH is a little bit behind when it comes to their top obelisk. They're a little late for sure. Now, is that gonna be a disaster? That can be a disaster. Why you so late on that? Look at these obelisks. Or is that my screen just not working? All right, that actually that wasn't just my screen working, it is the fact that they're late. So if you look across of the screen, you'll see 1 minute 55 versus 1 minute 30. The 20 seconds here could be costly. Even in terms of the other 2 obelisks, there's a 20-second lead. So definitely 2489 having a lead in terms of their obelisk capture. So not only their 1 troop march went in, their rally is getting in as well. Now it's going to be interesting to see, because VH got a little late in terms of getting to their obelisk, whether 89 CG actually lets their rallies run up to there. So we don't know whether they're going to cancel the rally now. Now there could be a case where they don't actually cancel the rally, because it's only worthwhile canceling the rally if the cities can port it. Now if the rally gets there in time, now I don't know what they rallied that building with, or whether they canceled that rally already. I don't see a Lau, I do see a line coming in. Can we pick up? Yes we can. So we are going to have an early action. Now it's a double C rally. Now with the double C rally, I don't know whether it's going to do a lot of damage. With the double C, you probably should have a gun. RoKStaR, Tutmose, yes, that's the name. 89 CG, let's go. Wood Gaming race, no, they actually canceled that rally. So I was kind of hoping there's a Khan behind the double C, and that way they could have pressured that. There was 30 seconds left, but to be honest, probably within 30 seconds they may not have been able to take it. So it's probably better to go for that other strategy where you pressure on the desert altar. So nothing crazy at the start. We are going for the typical strategy. Everything that we see JST and OneV doing, we are seeing over here, but with different commanders obviously. But in terms of these marches, how many is coming? Oh my god, that's a lot of pressure coming in from 89 CG. GG. Now, does the blue team 88VH have enough marches here? It definitely doesn't look like they have enough marches here. And then what 89CG is doing, which is great, is they're pushing the blue marches back so that when this building opens, which is in 50 seconds, there's no chance one blue march can randomly just get in. But then, do they have enough? Surely they have enough. So a lot of marches coming in from red, and that's a good start over there. Now the blue team is kind of fighting, not necessarily in one place. You can see a little bit of fighting on the left, a little bit of fighting on the right hand side, so it is getting a little bit messy. When it comes to the enemy desert altar, you do want it to be messy though, so that's very good. Now the second thing we want to see is on top of the enemy altar, are they trying to pressure? Yeah, ooh, I don't know. It looks like they may be putting a little bit pressure, but then those marches are coming back. So the Shrine of War is not going to be under pressure. The blue team is trying to come for the sky altar, but they don't have enough numbers. Now we want to see what's happening over here though, because this is the building where blue should be putting a lot of pressure on. That's the meta. Now blue is trying to put a pressure, but I see a lot of red marches here. So 89 with their starting game strategies is doing pretty good. But then as the buildings open, what do we see over here? Somehow blue has gone into this building. I don't know how they managed to do it, but blue has taken over their own desert altar. It was a Khanin garrison, but then with a heavy swarm, red kind of changes it over. But then in terms of the sky altar, the blue team has it. It's an Alex and YSG garrison, which is probably a very good garrison, and red is swarming it back. So reds actually look like on the top lane they're gonna take over all the buildings they can, and in the bottom lane the extra building that red has is the, well, had for a second, so for a little bit red had the Shrine of War from enemy, but then blue did swarm it back. Okay, so the most interesting building at the moment is the desert altar over here at the top lane. There's a lot of red presence here. Now you got a Saladin garrison there. Now Saladin obviously is a top garrison in this situation. Under a heavy storm he will come down though, but he's quite tanky, and there's a YSG behind the Saladin, so it's doing a lot of damage. It is going to probably hold on a little bit. Now what's the ideal garrison over here? We saw some Saladin, we saw Khan, we saw Alex. Well, ideally you want to have that Constantine here, because Constantine will hold that building for a while, and there wasn't a Constantine over there. But then there's a lot of red marches here, so what red can do is they can kind of switch this occupation a little bit longer. They can try to keep swarming and taking over that building and delaying the first occupation. But then first occupation hasn't been stolen from any of the buildings yet. Everyone's getting their usual first occupation, but we do see the red team, as in 89CG, putting a little bit pressure, probably more. Fallen, yo, first GG 89, here we go, is all in 80. Oh, Fallen, you're gonna cry tonight, man. And evening, good to have you guys here. Now there is a Charles in garrison. Behind the Charles, I can't see who the garrison is. Oh, I can now. You see the bright shining light coming from the sky. You know what that means? That's Constantine. You know what that means? That means this building is not gonna fall. Early game commander struggle taking Constantine down, so this is not gonna be successful. But what do we see over here? We see people going for the mid already. Now who is going to middle early on? So we do see 88VH trying to take an early position, but just with two marches you can't take that early position. They have to settle behind the temple, and we do see now red kind of going in there as well. But is the building game settled? If you look at the points, it's very even. It kind of does. Oh, it does. As I was saying, it's very even. Someone stole one of the building's first occupation. Now who stole what first occupation, I can't tell, because I don't think anyone stole any first occupation. It's more to do with this desert altar not giving the blue team their first occupation yet. Now one of the things that red is doing pretty good, red as in 89CG doing good, is they're bothering the outpost game. Now each outpost give you 30 points per minute, and then that's not a bad take if you can bother the enemy outpost and kind of take it over. Now that Alex is probably not gonna win against that Saladin, it doesn't look like, so that is a pretty good buy, red, to keep an eye out on that. Now take a breath. Take a breath. Yes, I want to take a breath, but I'm doing things non-stop. As you can see on the minimap, guys, I have been clicking for the last nine minutes non-stop, and it doesn't look like I can get into that 1v match. I think we gotta settle with this match. But then anyways, I'm pretty sure we got an exciting match on our hand, and that's all we care about. 1v is probably just winning that match outright, so that's what I'm kind of hoping. But in terms of the middle fight, let's focus on this match again. Now, we do not see enough matches coming from red. I did expect a little bit more presence in the middle from the red team. Now they are leading in points, not by much though. You have a 500-point lead, just a 500-point lead, which is kind of nothing. Now we see a lot of dead matches kind of just going back home now from red. Those matches are gonna take a lot of time to get to the middle. Now there is a lot of pressure on the other buildings as well, which we will kind of look around on. Let's look at the garrisons. Yes, Constantine. So that garrison is gonna hold, so red is not losing that building. What about, ooh, red has taken over the sky altar. Now the important thing to see, Arvik's, all those sad marches, I mean not sad marches, half dead marches, Arvik's gonna kill those marches somehow and then go home. Now why are you walking back? Why are you walking back with that Harman? What are you doing using Harman in the first place? But why are you walking back? You killed those marches there. Sansu garrison, seriously, you couldn't get a Charles or a Constantine in there? No. But then what has happened there? Ooh, blue has taken over a building. So if you look at the points game, it's 530, so it's actually in blue's favor. Valhalla playing a better points buildings game at the moment, and only 400 per minute. So you know what that means? That means red has to focus a lot more in the middle. Now with 2 minutes left, 1 minute 90, 1 minute 50. There's nothing called 1 minute 90, Ladus. What are you talking about? That makes it 2 minutes. But anyways, you know how I'm excited and kind of losing track of what I'm saying. But then out of excitement, let's not forget that we are casting a match. I need to make sense while I'm talking about it. Now there's quite a lot of red matches fighting in the back. Now what's funny here is there's a lot of matches on both sides that are almost dead. I'm sure they're trying to make them properly dead so that they can go home, but then it doesn't look like the mid fight is gonna be as, you know, structured and organized as you would want it to be. Now let's see the maneuvers. We got red trying to take a different position to where they were. So rather than standing behind the temple, they're coming to the bottom side of the temple. Generally speaking, when you see team kind of doing these maneuvers, they are usually better in the middle fight, because at least you know, they are trying something. So we see more matches coming in. What time do you think the middle fight is gonna start? With 50 seconds left. If it hasn't started already, this is kind of scary. Now if I were red, I would put the skill on now. Red probably has a bit of a better position now. Red should really be going in because before all those blue matches kind of come in. Now is red engaging? Some of the red is engaging, but I don't think this is the final marker. They're coming back. So now does red have enough matches coming in? Mystical formation comes in. All right, red is willing to engage now with 20 seconds left. So we see war drums from blue, we see war drums from red as well. So mystical formation is probably the skill that blue hasn't used yet. Now blue is delaying mystical formations by a little bit, maybe is that, am I looking at it right? Probably. Now the middle fight is taking place. Now it's not with as many marches as you would normally see, but someone's going for a grab on the arc. Where is the fight taking place? The fight is actually taking place a little bit more on the red side, which is not great for red, but someone from red has a grab on the arc and then he's walking. I can't see the march. Who is this guy? Is this cow? This is that cow. Daichan Kaise is walking. He is running away with the arc. So great pull from the red team. In terms of the middle presence, I see a little bit more red, but the fighting is still intense. Now the arc carrier died. It wasn't that cow that I was looking at. It was another cow, but does it make a difference? It doesn't, because it's someone from the red team who took it. 89 will win mid, all VIP 18. Well, we shall see. In terms of the power, it does say that both teams has equal power, so I don't know how spendy 88 VH is, but they could be. We see a lot of sad faces going home from the blue team though, so this is good for red. They got the arc on their side. They do have more and more matches coming in. Now that the fighting is taking place more on the red side, it's probably easier for red to get there. By easier, I mean faster. and we do not see a lot more blue marches kind of coming in. We just see a lot of blue sad faces going in. Now let's see what's happening on the other buildings. Is there a chance blue is focusing more on the buildings? No, buildings game look pretty even, so it's straight along the middle. You can draw a line and say everyone has their own buildings. In terms of the points per minute, it's pretty dead even. It's 440 versus 440, so not necessarily any advantage in terms of the building game at the moment. And then red has definitely taken over the arc, and it looks like the middle fight is over. So as you guys can see on the screen, red is walking away. Now there's few blue marches here fighting, especially the Saladins and Charles. They take a lot of time to die, but then that is not probably gonna make a difference. Now what should blue do? In this case, can blue actually put a pressure? Sometimes you'll see the other team putting a pressure on the buildings game. Now with all those sad marches going back home faster, blue is gonna be able to refresh their marches a little bit faster, and they can probably pressure the buildings a little bit more. Now you do see some of these marches going back from red as well. These marches that are going to the middle is still from blue. Probably not a good call. You don't need to go to the middle anymore. The mid fight is kind of lost. If anything, you would be pressuring on any of these buildings, which they are not doing. Now it's going to be interesting to see. So we got Dai Chen Kaize, the guy that I was talking about. He got the arc now, and it looks like he's straight going for the Shrine of War. So you know what that says? That says 89CG is not worried about the middle fight. They want to score this arc. They want to face 88VH again for the second arc because they are confident they got the arc game sorted. Now all these marches, where are they going? They are going to pressure on the desert altar, and then they still hold the sky altar. 89CG is a strong team, and they're playing pretty good. Now in terms of the blue team, what's their play now? I mean, they do have one extra building at the moment. Well, not necessarily. They got the sky altar on the top lane, but then the sky altar at the bottom lane, so they kind of switched that around. So buildings game pretty much similar points. Well, I mean, it's gonna be very similar points soon. It takes a little second to turn over because, you know, you gotta capture the building and all that. 1021 got all the altars. Well, Yelgi. Ooh, guys, guess what happened? Persistence pays off, and we did manage to get into the other game as well. Now what's happening with the middle fight? No one's in the middle in the other match. Now that the arc got delivered in this match, let's see if we can switch around for a quick view on the other match and see what do we pick up. So what do we see on the other match? What do we see on the other match? We see OneV with the arc. OneV is a little bit behind on points, but OneV has the arc. In terms of how much are they behind by, they're only behind by 1,000 points, but they got the arc, which is 3,000 points. So technically OneV has control over that match. So just showing you guys what's happening in that match. I Am Strong is leading the points. Not that that matters. Now speaking of I Am Strong, we are going to bring you what marches I Am Strong uses in KVK next week. So we got all the details we need from I Am Strong. If you want to check out that video, subscribe now, turn on notification so that you can find out what's the strongest player from the strongest team using KVK, and that is OneV's I Am Strong. I mean, his name is strong. He can't make it any more obvious. Now, because there's no mid fight on the other match, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this screen up so that you can kind of see the points, but I'm going to go back to our main match, which is 89CG. What is our future KD kind of doing? That's the main focus. But then when the mid fight comes for on the other match, we are gonna go and check it out. TSN Lambu, as I said yesterday, 1v typically start out slow, comes from behind. 1021 needs to take advantage of this. Yes, let's hope that's an interesting match as well. But speaking of interesting, what looks interesting over here is how, whilst scoring the first arc and taking a lead on points, 89CG is still playing a strong pressure game over here. So they tried to pressure the desert altar, but in that desert altar, finally 88VH has the best garrison possible. which is, guys, you know what the best garrison is, right? The best garrison possible in early realms is always going to be our grandma. And when I say grandma, I do not mean Pluto Gaming. Pluto is the grandma, obviously, in terms of content creators, with the grandma logo. But then the grandma over here in this desert altar was Wu Zetian. So we saw a Wu Zetian and we saw the Constantine in that desert altar. So I'm gonna make a call that 89CG is gonna struggle taking over that desert altar. Now, in terms of other buildings, let's see where the pressure is. Pluto Gaming, hey man, I thought you were not here. That's why I made that joke. Looks like you are still here. I mean, I love your logo. What can I say? Now, this is a Charles Garrison over here, but you'll see what I'm talking about. This Charles is gonna fall a lot faster, despite having a Constantine there. And then what 89CG doing over here is kind of timeless. No, not Edward. Edward is not timeless, but the commander behind Edward is timeless, and that is Tomiris, one of the best archer commanders still in the game, and that debuff is very powerful. Ooh, now they, ooh, by ooh I mean Wu, now they're actually going for a Wu garrison. So that's what we want to see, more Wu garrison, which makes other people take your buildings much harder. And now we see Wu over here as well. So it's Constantine Wu and Wu Constantine, probably two garrisons leaders, kind of, you know, switching the garrison up. There's a Constantine here as well, so it's good to see 89CG is taking their buildings game seriously. They are putting proper garrisons in every single building possible. Now, in terms of the other match in the minimap, I'm not switching it over, but you can see that 1021 has a 2000 points lead, but then 1V still got the Ark in hand, so that's still a 1000 point lead technically to 1V. Now, there's a Constantine primary here. To be honest, I don't like the Constantine primary. A Wu primary with a Constantine behind, generally speaking, is safer against all type of rallies that you could be getting. So if you put a Constantine, then you're pretty much saying you're gonna use infantry, and then you're gonna see a lot of Edward rallies in these early realms. So to counter against that, Wu is a better choice as a primary, because you can kind of put whatever marches in there. You get the mixed troop bonuses from the mixed troop talent trees as well. So yeah, maybe Wu primary, Constantine secondary is good. But if you look at all the buildings here, they're pretty even. We're gonna check out where the pressure is. So Wu on the sky altar under pressure over here. And now Arvix is rallying. Now, I don't know whether this is meta, guys. You guys can probably tell me. When it comes to Tutmose, is he the best archer rally choice over here? I mean, since Arvix is doing it, I'm pretty sure he plays in 60 GD as well, so he's not one of those collector whales who doesn't know, you know, what commanders to use. So he has a good knowledge of the game, and he got support from 60 GD, and he tests everything quite a lot. So I'm probably gonna have to believe that Tutmose is a better choice for rally than what's his name again, Edward. But then either way, what's not working here is the garrison. So one of the things that 89CG has to do a little bit better for the next game, if they want to be like a top team, is probably have that garrison handy. So after you take this building over, you probably have to make sure that you can put a proper garrison here, because otherwise that happens. You put a double C garrison there, and then they just take the building back. So the effort that you put in, you don't get enough out of it. So forward building still has to, you need to put in a proper garrison there. Now Arvix is doing this again. So down south we saw a Tutmosis YSG rally, and you see a Tutmosis YSG rally as well. So what that tells me is this is not him randomly trying thing. He obviously knows what he's doing, and he's preferring Tutmosis over the Tomiris choice. To be honest, Tutmosis YSG could be a better rally as long as you have a Tomiris on the side debuffing the building. That could be the best choice, but we do not see a Tutmosis here. But guys, what's happening over here? That single rally without a support. maybe taking this building from our Granny Wuzitan. So they could be taking this building because there's not a lot of support from the blue team either. Now there's Richard. Now does that Richard make sense? No, Richard never makes sense. Doesn't matter what KVK you're playing. I mean, technically early KVK, but then this is not KVK, this is Ark. The Richard still doesn't make sense. Now to the death, middle fight starting, and to the death as well. Oh my god, everyone's going to the death. So let's see what's happening with the middle fight. Now we were not looking at the middle thinking they're gonna fight a little bit late, but this time around both teams engaging kinda early with a minute left for Ark to spawn, and the fighting and the second time is taking place on the red side. In terms of the commanders, we do see similar commanders using by both teams. So there's a lot of Elsids here, there's some Tommies here, there's Saladins, you see Alex Sansus, and you see Khan as well there, you see the Minamoto. So you see all the early game legendary commanders they're expected to see, and you know how everyone says that Sansu is almost a legendary. Well, there you go, along with all the legendaries you do see Sansu as well. Now who is winning this middle fight with to the death from both sides? We see a lot of blue marches going home sad face. I don't see any red marches going home sad faced at the moment. I haven't seen a single red march go home sad faced. Yeah, that's the first one, and we have seen like 10 red marches go home as well. But what red has done, 88 VH has a pull on the Ark. They grab the Ark and they are kind of taking it towards their side. So the Ark is few inches on the left hand side at the moment. Like I'm saying inches, I don't know how to put a measure on here, centimeters or whatever. It's a little bit on the red side. Now is blue going to take this Ark? Blue has a pull on the Ark, it's on their side, but then in terms of the number of marches here in the middle, we still see more red marches in the middle, and we see a lot more blue going home sad face. So as much as blue had a pull, it looks like red's gonna pull the Ark back towards their side now. The middle is kind of getting cleared. The middle is kind of getting cleared of the 88 members here. So all we see is 89 members in the middle. So it's mostly 89 players in the middle. Now one of the things that I want to check on the other side is, has OneV delivered the Ark? OneV has delivered the Ark. The point is only 400 points in favor of OneV. The middle fight is gonna take place in 5 minutes. So we are gonna look and check that match in 5 minutes time. But in terms of this match, let's follow the journey of the Ark. The Ark is getting home by our Ark carrier Dai-Chen Kaize over here. He's pulling the Ark, he's taking it home. Where is he gonna take it? Is he going to go for the instant deposit, instant score of that Ark yet? I don't follow the yellow line. Yes, the yellow line is kind of coming in this direction. Now blue has to, if blue loses this Ark as well, this is gonna be a massive uphill battle for them. So there's only one play blue has at the moment. They gotta pressure this desert altar. Do we see a lot of blue coming this way? We see some of the blue marches aiming this way, but at the moment we don't see a lot of blue coming this way. Now the Ark carrier died. As much as the Ark carrier died, if you look at the screen, there's a lot more red over here. So the Ark is not necessarily under pressure. Some blue marches still coming in, but I don't think they're gonna make it too many red marches around the Ark, so they're probably gonna safely deposit it to the desert altar. Now all those supporting marches, they're coming to the desert altar as well. They're anticipating a heavy pressure coming in from blue, and we do see a rally coming in from blue with the Edward, and there's all these open field marches that are walking towards that building as well. The best geared guys in Sobek. Yeah, these are the best geared guys in Sobek, man. Jaden 89 is the strongest. Yeah, man. So we can see the rally coming in. These marches should let the rally hit and then kind of start swarming it. I don't think the rally is timely. The rally should have been set a little bit earlier, and all the support marches that are coming in, they're coming a little bit too late. They're not gonna be able to stop that Ark. Now Dai-Chen Kaize, I don't know how his cow just died, but he has a brand new cow, and then he deposits that in the building. So the second Ark score, the point difference is very high now. now you got 13,000 versus 20,000. Now even if the blue team wins the last arc, then even then it's gonna be quite challenging. 89CG, do they have this match in the bag? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but then it's time for us to check the middle fight on the other game. Let's switch over the screens, and I definitely need a drink of water because I'm losing my voice now. So let me mute myself for a sec. I thought I mute myself, but does that mean I was mute for God knows how long? Hey guys, have I not been talking for a very long time? Did I just mute myself during that last drink, or was I mute for like the last half an hour? Because I thought I mute myself and it does look like I didn't. But anyways, whatever the case is, you guys are still here, so I am happy and we are enjoying the match. Now with 2 minutes left in the other match, who is going to take the second arc? Now if 1021 wants to have a shot at winning this match, they gotta make sure they get this arc. There's no way around. They gotta make sure they win this match. Now next time, I think when we are casting Ark of Osiris, I need something stronger than Coolridge water. It gotta be something white, but probably not water. Something that gives us more hype during a match. But in this match itself, as in both matches themselves, are giving us a lot of hype, to be honest. So we are definitely hyped to see 89 win. But then the other match, it's time to talk about the other match. What's happening over here? OneV is taking a different sort of position. So rather than going down on the left hand side, which is what we saw 89CG do, OneV is taking a position on the top of the altar. I mean, not altar, on the top of the temple. Now in terms of the buildings, as you can see on the mini map of the screen, the building game is pretty even now. Everyone has their own buildings, and the score couldn't be any more closer. You got 590 points per minute for 1021. You got 590 points per minute for OneV. It's 16,400 and 17,000. So this is as close as it gets. So 1021, oh my god, they're a strong team, and it looks like they're engaging. So we got the engagement in the match, and then we got mystical formation going in from both sides. It's actually 1021 choosing to engage. And then we got one drums from both sides as well, and Heavenly Grace from 1021 and Heavenly Grace from OneV as well. So this is as even as it gets every which way, and the middle fight is taking place now. Now what do I see over here? Do I see any sad faces going home yet? I am seeing one or two from each side going in, but then not that many. We're playing in simplified graphics. If I take off simplified graphics, then unfortunately the game is gonna crash, so we're not gonna do that. Now there's a few marches standing on the side for no reason. Hey, 1021 guys, wake up. Nevsky. Now I think they could be arc carriers, but one of them is really low health, so it probably shouldn't be an arc carrier. Now someone got a grab on the arc. Who got the grab on the arc? 1021 got a grab. 1021 lost the arc straight away, but they may have pulled it a little bit towards their side. So it's 1021 in blue guys on the left hand side. 1021 got a pull again. Now we see the arc a little bit more towards the 1021 side. Now usually generally speaking, when you see OneV fighting, it's usually only the other teams that face all the time, and it's in the middle. It's just left with OneV. Now can 1021 make a difference over here? To be honest, it still kind of looks even. I see a lot of blue still there, so this is not the typical OneV domination that we are kind of used to. 1021 got a grab on the arc again, and they're slowly taking it back towards that side. Now whilst we're watching that match, don't forget about our 1021 mates here. They're doing pretty good as well. They're keeping an extra desert altar from the enemy, so despite having 2 arc advantage, they're still pressuring the buildings game. But then let's focus on the 1v match again. 1021 got the arc. 1021 is pulling the arc. There is more blues in the middle. Do we see more blues in the middle, guys? What do you think? What do you think? I see the arc being slowly pulled towards the 1021, but then at the same time I see a lot more red marches around the middle now. So this is quite confusing. These 1021 guys, I don't know who they're chasing. Don't chase, go back to the middle, do your AoE. 1021, stop chasing random marches. KB Love, what are you doing? And then names that I can't read out. Why are you going south? Don't go south, stay with the arc, because now someone from 1v I think may have got a pull on the arc, because the arc is a little bit closer to the temple now. Someone's trying to grab, it's changing hand quite often. There's definitely more blue marches in the middle now. Does 1021 have it, guys? What do you think? 1021 making history? Yeah, this is definitely gonna be making history. No one expected 1021 to win this final. I mean, there could be a call made in terms of 1021 beating a lot of strong teams early on in their way here, and this is not necessarily an upset. Well, actually, I don't know what to say. I think this is an upset. 1v not winning anything is an upset, and there's a lot more blue marches here. The arc is being carried over by Save Me. So that cow, his name is Save Me. Well, we are trying to save you. There's all these other blue marches. They're trying to save you, man. You gotta keep running. Run, Forest, run. And now what do we see from 1v? 1v acknowledges that they lost this arc, and they're putting hard push on straight away. Now, where is Save Me going? Save Me is going to the outpost. So Save Me is playing the JST style, going for the outpost. They want to score that straight away. Now, is that a good plan for them to score it straight away? I don't know. This is too confusing. If I were them, yeah, I would probably not score them. I would probably hold on to the arc, because you don't want to fight 1v again for the mid. I mean, I'm kind of a coward that way, but you guys obviously got the second arc, so you feel confident. Maybe you want to play the third arc, but the safer would have been, yes, now they're changing direction. Save Me is listening to this casting, and now he's changing direction to the obelisk. He was initially going towards the outpost. Now he's playing it safer, and he's going towards the starting zone. Now, what do we see here on the other match? Now, I'm not gonna switch over yet, but in terms of the 89 CG match, what do we see? We see not 1021, we see the blue team making the moves this time around. So you can see that on the minimap, the blue team is making a little bit of a move, and I think it's time we switch over to the other match again. So 1021 has that arc. Now moving over to our main match, we perfect timing, and we got the skill coming in from 1021, War Drums and Mystical Formation from 88VH, and War Drums from 88VH as well. So everyone matching each other's skills. And the mid fight is on the way here. So we are moving from mid fight to mid fight. Isn't this the best day of our casting today? We got two exciting matches on our hand, obviously, because this is the finals. And then now, what type of march do you see here more? Do you see more red? Do you see more blue? I kind of can't tell too early, but I do see more sad faces from blue going home. Now in the mid fight, we see the blue team using a Constantine. That's a very good call. It probably doesn't make sense for later realms, but in early realms, the buff that Constantine and Mulan provides, that is very good. I'm sure that 89CG has looked into it, and they're kind of using at least one or two Constantine Mulans as well. Now the blue team 88VH got a pull on the arc. They are taking the arc towards that side, so that match is by no means over. That match is by no means over. And if VH gets that arc, they kind of tie up the match. Not exactly tie up, but they make the match very close, kind of uncomfortable, and then potentially the question of a fourth arc comes in as well. So what do we see over here now? As much as blue had a pull, blue hasn't managed to take it further to their side. We see more reinforcements coming in. Louis Tanner is coming in with a lot more, all his 5 marches in. Do we see as many blue marches coming in? We probably don't see as many blue marches coming in. And then no one's being able to get the arc to be moving. Everyone got a grab, and they're dying kind of straight away. The middle fight is still hanging in the balance. We probably see similar number of marches from both sides. I don't know how that's possible, because I'm seeing a lot more blue marches going home sad face. Now I see quite a few red marches actually going home. Now the arc has been pulled a little bit towards the red side now. This fight is gonna keep going on. Now for this arc fight, whoever has spare marches wherever, they should be sending it to the middle, because this arc fight can still go either way. Now in terms of the other match, you got 1021 behind by 1000 points, but at the same time they're sitting on 3300 points, so they definitely have a lead. In terms of the buildings, OneV has captured 2 extra buildings, so the building game is a little bit in favor, well, quite a bit favor of OneV, so OneV kind of evening up the points lost from the second arc. Now in terms of the third arc in this match that we're watching, the middle fight is still going on. This has to be the longest middle fight in this match that we are watching. The arc is kind of sitting dead even between that you know, whatever building and the temple. Blue looks like they have less marches. It looks like red is sending more marches in, but then the arc fight is not necessarily over. Fallen, you're casting far better than official channel. More hype here. Feels dead in official channel. Hey man, I don't know what's happening with that channel, but a lot of people doesn't like me kind of streaming. A lot of I mean not streaming. Some people doesn't like the hype style, but hey, we got the right viewers here then, right? So whoever likes whatever better. Now in terms of the arc, what's happening here now, we see a lot more blue marches coming in, so blue is playing it right. They haven't given up. The arc went quite a bit towards their way, and they got more marches coming in. Swift stride, 88 VH using swift stride, 89 CG using a swift stride as well, so both of them think they can get a grab of the arc and kind of try pulling it. Now in terms of the building game, whilst all this fighting is going on, if you look at the mini map on the right hand side, you'll see that there's an extra building that belongs to blue. So blue has taken over the enemy desert altar, so the desert altar from the red team actually belongs to blue now. There isn't a lot of pressure from red on that building either. Now there's a rally coming in from Big Arvik, so yep, they're gonna probably take that building over, but it's probably safer what red is trying to do, trying to pressure the arc in the middle rather than going for the buildings game. 88 win, 88, it looks like 88 is gonna win this middle fight. It does look like 88 can win this middle fight, and then that'll make this match heavily close, interesting and everything. Now look, if you look at the points, the match is not closed now, so to keep this match alive, 88 VH has to take that arc. They have to score that arc. Now speaking about interesting matches, if you look at the other match, OneV had taken over a couple of extra buildings, but then now it looks quite even again. So that usually happens, whichever side wins the arc, they're behind by a little bit. It takes them longer to reset the marches, and then the other team can take over the buildings a little bit. They can get back to their buildings game a little bit faster. So OneV took advantage of it, but then at the moment it's back to normal again. And then as you can see on the little map on the right hand corner, Save Me is standing with the arc over there, so they're definitely ahead in that match. So if you count the 3500 points from that arc, it's actually 10-21 leading. So for OneV to win, if there's a last arc, OneV has to get it. I don't think there's going to be a last arc though. There is not going to be enough time for the last arc, so it comes down to building and provisioning. Now in terms of the match that we are watching now, this has to be the longest mid fight that I have ever seen. Actually, I was gonna say this is the longest mid fight for this match, but not just for this match. This is like the longest mid fight that we have seen, because the arc was going towards the blue side. It's very much was towards the blue side, but then red has turned the table around and we got red taking the arc back to balance now. So who is this arc carrier? He pulled it back quite a bit towards the red side, and I see that name again, Dai-chan Gaize, and then he has pulled it a little bit towards his side. There's a lot more red marches now. Now for 88 VH, they definitely used the swift stride at the right time. in my opinion, 89 CG probably used their swift stride a little too early. They probably would have used that like 10 seconds later. They probably used it a little bit too early, but then we don't have to dwell on that because the outcome is there. The middle is cleared of blue marches and we see red walking back now. Now, who is this guy? Lamb Arsenal. I hate Arsenal, but I kind of like you, Lamb. Good job with the Ark. Go home, can't go home. In terms of the buildings, they have the buildings. There's no pressure on the Shrine of War, so I'm sure they can score this. Blue is trying to chase still, but this is too late, Blue. I don't think you have this. There's no point trying to come through the middle now. Now 88 VH, why are you coming through the middle? If anything, if you want to pressure it, you gotta go for the building now. Come straight to the building, not kind of try to walk through the middle. You're not doing yourselves a favor. Now all these guys actually targeting that Ark carrier. Look at that. There's like, you know, 10 12 marches targeting the Ark carrier. You think you're gonna get there? Really, you think you're gonna get there? All these red marches in the middle, do you think they're gonna let you get there? No. So don't go this way. Try to go the other way. Try to focus on the buildings. And I mean, either way, I think this match is kinda over with 13 minutes left. If 89 CG scores that Ark, then that is kind of game set match and they're gonna be home safely with one victory and they just need to win one out of the other two matches. So I'm probably gonna make it official and say congratulations 89 CG on your victory with 12 minutes left. Let's not make things interesting when they're not gonna be. This match was interesting and this is kinda over now. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna switch over to the other screen because the 10-21 match now is gonna be more interesting probably. Okay, all right, we do have the other match up. So what's happening over there? So 2000 not even 2000, 1500 lead by OneV, which means technically 2000 lead by 10-21. Now what 10-21 is going to do now is they're gonna obviously wait the whole 3 minutes. They can hold on to the Ark. So 3 minutes later 3 minutes later, it's gonna be 8 minutes left in the match, and then you got 8 minutes for the Ark to spawn. So you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be no next Ark. So this is the last Ark that they're sitting on. So it's a 2 Ark matches. So the only 2 things that's gonna matter is the buildings game in provisioning. Now provisioning is the boring thing, so we're gonna check the provisioning thing first faster. So how many can we see? Can we see 89 versus 88? We are seeing 89 versus 88, man. So on the right hand side in that map, you are seeing 89 versus 88. That's the main match. That's what we were seeing. But look at the score. The score is 22,000 versus 31,000, and with that Ark, that's another 4,000. So if you add 4,000 to 31,000, what that gives you? That gives you 35,000. 35,000 versus 23,000. Who do you think is gonna win? Now looking at the other match where we don't know who the winner is, how much farming is being, or caravaning, gathering, whatever is being done by OneV. OneV has a lot of marches, kind of farming on the side. OneV is gonna have a good provisioning score from the looks of it. OneV has at least 3 people provisioning. Generally speaking, OneV has 2 people worth of gathering, but it looks like OneV may have like 3 people gathering, and they're using hard push as well. They're taking the building game seriously as well. I don't think anyone took insatiable desire or that farming skill, because otherwise they would have used it. Now I don't see anyone using that. There is some provisioning going in from 10-21 as well. It doesn't look like they're provisioning as much as OneV. So provisioning score, I do expect OneV to have a little bit more, maybe not heavily more. Now if you look at the buildings, not only 10-21 is leading in terms of buildings, I mean leading in terms of points, they were pressuring more on the buildings game, guys. So the building games, in a way, the building games in a way is in 1021's favor as well. So is this gonna be the match where 1v is brought back to earth? It could be. Now we are still keeping an eye out on the 89CG match. So if you look at what 89CG and 88VH is doing on the right hand side, there is not gonna be another arc, because they're sitting here with the arc. So even if they score the arc, they're probably going to score the arc in the next couple minutes, and that way there's not going to be any more arc. So 89CG is playing it safe, and they're making sure that this is the last arc. I mean, they got this match anyway, so it doesn't really, there's nothing that 88VH can do that'll change the outcome. They can take all the buildings. Even if you take all the buildings in the last 5 minutes, it's not like the score is gonna be changed. So you got 25,000 versus 37,000, 12,000 point lead. There's nothing that you know, that's gonna change that match. So what we'll do is we'll have the action. We'll have that action on the side, but let's look at what 1v is doing. All right, let's look at the garrison and rally situation as well. We got a Genghis garrison in terms of 1021. We see a rally here. We're looking at the sky altar from 1021. All 1021 has to do now, they don't need to take over 1v buildings. They just gotta make sure that they're holding on to their buildings. Now look at the score. How much is the difference now? The score, 1021 scored the arc. We're looking at 31,000 versus 28,500. Now that's a lot of calculation. Can I do that math? It's gonna be hard. So it's like a little bit more than 2,000. Am I looking at it right? No, it's a little bit. It's a little bit, I mean, it's somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000, 2,500, let's say, just to make it easy. So 1021 doesn't have to play anything risky. They don't even have to rally the enemy buildings. What they should be doing now is just have enough marches to support their own buildings, and any extra march they have should be kind of garrisoning. As long as 1v can't take over the march, insatiable desire. All right, 1021 actually had it in the bag. So good call on taking that skill and understanding what they may face and using that skill. So 1021 is going to be provisioning just as fast. Now when it comes to the building game, the desert altar is being rallied by, is that Attila? No, what's the rally? Nevsky Attila rally against the Zenobia and YSS. Does 1021 have enough marches here? It kind of looks like 1021 does. There's a couple of marches coming in from 1021 that are going to go into the building. As long as a couple more marches can go onto the building, they can hold on to this. They can hold on to this building, and yes, the rally got cancelled. So 1v was unsuccessful in taking that desert altar away from the Zenobia. In terms of the Shrine of Life on the top lane, it's not even under pressure. Whereas we do have 1021 pressuring one of the buildings from 1v. They're not going to be successful, but it's not about them being successful. It's about them keeping the 1v guys busy on their side of the map. So very well played from 1021. Now there is another rally going on from 1v. This time around it's from I Am Strong, and you got Nevsky and Joan. You got Nevsky and Joan rallying. You got Nevsky and Joan rallying the Sky Altar, where is a Genghis and who is the secondary here? YSS. Alright, in every single building the secondary is YSS. Now this building on the other hand, I think the I Am Strong rally got it. Joan and Nevsky. There are support marches, reinforcements coming from 1021, but there's quite a lot of 1v marches here, so 1v potentially can take this building. But is it all coming too late? Well, there's still 5 minutes left. Now when there's 5 minutes left, if you take this building, you're taking points away from the enemy, and you are kind of generating points for yourself. But this building is taking a while to take down, despite all the marches that 1v has here. Somehow the reinforcements from 1021 is getting in. Now this is a tough battle, and maybe 1v got that building. Ooh, did I call it too early? Yeah, probably. Look at that, so many marches coming in. Now there's that Zenobia garrison coming in. Can the Zenobia garrison get in time? The Jiska is down to his last few health bars, and let's see if he can. It doesn't look like that he can. And now there's a there was a Julius Caesar in garrison for a little bit. Now this is funny. There was a Jadwiga standing behind. For some reason, the Jadwiga YSS didn't manage to get into the building. So if the fresh garrison went in, maybe they hold on for a little bit. Now they got 2 garrisons standing here, but then it's gonna take a bit of time for them to, you know, swarm that back. In terms of points, we are looking at 33,900, 31,200. So that's a 2,700 point difference. That's a lot of points difference. Purely provisions is not gonna make that difference, because 1v definitely hasn't provisioned 2,000 more than what the blue team has. 1021 used that other skill as well, insatiable desire, so it's not likely they're gonna garrison much less than 1v. So has 1v lost this match? There's a good chance 1v actually lost this match. I don't know. Don't forget to drink. Yes, I gotta drink. And then, you know what else I gotta do? In 4 minutes time, my actual Ark match starts, and then I kind of gotta jump into that match as well. Now I did make a mistake. You know what I did? I'm casting the 1021 match in my main account, thinking that's the match that's gonna be over first, so I can kind of stream the other one and switch it over, but then it looks like that's the match that has to get close. So either way, I'm probably gonna be like few seconds late in that Ark match, but then I don't think my subs can join in for the first 3 minutes. I should still make it. All right, now in terms of the building, 1v does have 1 extra building. The points difference is still much in favor of 1021. 1v does have 1 extra building. 1v has taken over the Shrine of Life from 1021, and they have managed to put a Janjiska in garrison. Now 1v, there's a good chance they're going to keep that building for a few more minutes and generate some more points. When I say a few more minutes, there's only 2 minutes and a half left. So 1021 with losing 1 building, this match is not necessarily walking away from their hand. As long as they can hold on to the rest of the 3 buildings for the last 2 minutes, they're still gonna be fine. Now in terms of the Sky Altar, they have taken it back. The new 1v rally that's coming in, the Henry rally is kinda on its own, and the support marches are being swarmed down by 1021, so they're not gonna be successful in switching this building over. When it comes to the Shrine of Life, 1v is not gonna be able to take that over. It's 2 minutes left, so I don't think 1v has this match. Guys, we are watching 1021 make history over here. 37,000 in the next 1 minute or even 30 seconds. We should see all the gatherers coming in. Now look at the points now. 37,900, almost 38,000 and 34,000. There's a 4,000 point difference. There's a 4,000 point difference, but then that's including 1021's gatherers probably coming home. I have a feeling that 1021 gatherers has come home. Do we see a lot of gatherers coming home for 1v? We do see some of the gatherers coming home from 1v. 1v may leave it a little bit late and then probably get them home. Actually, they gotta start walking home now. If you don't start walking home now, you're not gonna get there in time. The 1v score is not jumping as much as you would expect. They're at 35,000 now. It jumped a little bit, but not by a lot. You need to see massive jumps coming in from 1v. Now we see more gatherers coming in. I think 1021 is not gonna add much more to the score. Whatever they added 39,000, 36,000, 39,200, 36,200. There's a 3,000 point difference, so that match is definitely going in 1021's favor now. Now the Ark has spawned and there's 20 seconds left, and we got a John trying to play for the Ark, man. What do you think? In the next 16 seconds, out of the 16 seconds, 10 seconds is gonna be capturing it, and then you take it home. Look at the points now, guys. Nothing else is coming in. 40,200 versus 37,400. It looks like 1v is down. 1021 GG. It is GG, guys. Now I am going to say that we had a very entertaining night together. If you guys enjoyed the stream, the beautiful match that these four teams played, then definitely drop a like, drop a subscribe so that you can watch the same action next week at the same place. Now, one of the things I need to do is jump into my own Ark match, which I don't know why I can't do. Why can I not do that? Where is my menu? It looks like my menu is somehow gone. So let me bring up my menu and jump in. And I'm gonna call it a day here, guys, because I gotta start playing my own match. Thank you again, and I will see you guys next week. Drop a like, drop a sub, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.